Now to the Brady Bunch. Remember every single episode? Strangely, so do a lot of people who oppose vaccinations. While the U.S. grapples with the worst measles outbreak since the disease was eradicated some 20 years ago, we have new startling numbers. 704 measles cases reported so far this year, with 71% of those coming down with the disease unvaccinated. Enter the Brady Bunch. Anti-vaxxers are using an episode from the 1969 series to show what they see as a harmless illness. Here's a snippet.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it?
Yeah. If you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles.
That's right.
No medicine.
Inside or out. Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yuck!
Measles, measles, measles. Well, all the kids have now had the measles.
So have I.
Well, I had them years ago. Looks like the Bradys are finished with the measles.
Maureen McCormick, by the way, who played Marcia, says this, quote, "I think it's really wrong when people use people's images today to promote whatever they want to promote, and the person's image they're using, they haven't asked or they have no idea where they stand on the issue. As a mother, my daughter was vaccinated." So let's talk about this with family physician Dr. Jennifer Caudle. And Dr. Caudle, nice to have you on. You know, my goodness, I mean, the Brady Bunch and all of this, I mean, no question, right? Like, this particular episode made light of the Brady kids getting the measles, and anti-vaxxers are using it to play down the seriousness of measles. So what's your message to them?
Well, so my message is, I have a lot of messages, Brooke, let me tell you, but let me just start with a reaction to this.
Okay.
I just have to emote and respond to this. I tell you, I read about this episode, I saw it myself, and not only am I shocked and disappointed, but I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that that is the way that we were portraying measles at that time, and that, of course, that it's being resurfacing, but it's incorrect. It's not appropriate, and it's incorrect. It's painted as though measles is just sort of a little bit of a rash and a little fever, and I think Carol Brady was, said something like a high temperature, some dots, and a big smile the kids had. Look, that's not the way it is for a lot of kids. We know that 1 or 2 out of every 1,000 kids who gets the measles will actually die from complications. Pneumonia and swelling of the brain are also potential complications. So, I mean, that's why I say, I'm shocked, but I'm embarrassed and I'm disappointed.
So there's this meme going around, showing the Brady Bunch asking, remember this episode when it was no big deal to have the measles? And I hear you on how you're shocked and this is embarrassing that we portrayed them this way years ago. But today, given the seriousness of measles, what would you say to those, especially the anti-vaxxers out there?
Yeah. So, I mean, for anyone who thinks that measles is not that big of a deal, you're sadly and sorely misguided. That is not the case. We know that before the time that we had a vaccine, at least 500,000 people, we think probably in the millions, actually got measles, and 500 at least were hospitalized every year. Now we're up to 704 cases, Brooke, as you mentioned in the opening, but 9% of those have actually been hospitalized. And as I mentioned it before, we're not talking about just a little rash and a high fever. We're talking about people who can become deathly ill. And don't forget this vaccine, and this is where a lot of this comes to, right, is because, maybe people say, well, I don't want my kids to have the measles, but even more so, people are concerned about the vaccines. The measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine has been associated with autism, and that is false. The MMR vaccine and others do not cause autism, and vaccines are safe and effective. So, I know I sound like I'm on a soapbox here, Brooke, but I have to say it and say it over and over and over again. This is a vaccine-preventable illness. People can die from this condition. The most important and best thing we can do is to get vaccinated. We have to.
No, I appreciate you saying that. And again, just taking back to the Brady Bunch, which was a TV show, and the real life Marcia, right? Maureen McCormick, again, saying, as a mother, I got my daughter vaccinated. Dr. Caudle, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Justin, just